Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Popping on here a little bit later than normal this morning because I've been going through all the data, picking up tonight, looking at tomorrow. A lot of factors. I want to be clear in what I'm saying and get the important stuff out there so we know what to look for and when. So I think I've done that. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the severe weather threat first. Do things a little bit out of order this morning. Let's get all that done. We'll back up and talk about today a little bit. Sound good? Sound good. Okay, here is the severe weather outlook for today. This is Monday's severe weather outlook. And for most of today, I think we just have a beautiful day. I think this is picking up areas. Let's take a look at Kansas. Yeah, here we go. I think this is really dealing with late tonight. If things scoot up, pick up, SPC pointing out, things come in a little bit earlier. These would be the areas, South Kansas, South Central Kansas looks like coming over towards the East Central Kansas, just barely. So, I'm seeing Wichita, Coffeyville, Chanute. These areas would watch out. But I think this is really covering late tonight and possibly nothing happens until after midnight. Here is the severe weather outlook for Tuesday itself. And so what has changed is not much for our area. We're still under the marginal risk for all of Tuesday, as well as East Central Kansas. The slight risk has gone south and just barely even touches Missouri right now, as you can see. So it doesn't mean that there is nothing to worry about. Let's take a look at timing that I've put together for you here. Let's see what does happen. I have this pulled up to show you. Take a look at this. Just before we start, look at this overall storm. Just look at this with me. So here we are in East Central Kansas, West Central Missouri, but this is the whole thing as it sets up. This is like at midnight tonight toward 1 a.m. And so the low pressure, look at this big low pressure dry slot in the middle, and then wrapped around already on the backside out in Colorado, here's the deformation area over to snow. And so this is what we see. This whole system just kind of moves like this. And so I just wanted to show you that because I think, at least for me, it's kind of helpful to see the big picture instead of being all zoomed in, trying to look at one thing at a time. So that's essentially how it goes, I think. And so we're going to pick this up around 1 a.m. when a fairly organized line of storms is out on the front of this. And I think we do see strong wind gusts out in front of it. But this is 1 a.m. So moving now toward 3 a.m., getting over here into our area. Let me pull some cities in here. There we go. So I think we probably, you're woken up with some low rumbles of thunder. That's dependent on a couple of things happening. So maybe not. But what I'm a lot more comfortable in around this time is the winds. And so this happens between 3, 4, 5 a.m. By 6 a.m., maybe we're out of this initial wave, but keep in mind kind of the big horseshoe shape here. And so around mid-morning, this is showing 9 a.m. I think we're possibly in for the big rain shield. So I'm not seeing a lot of instability with this. Anything is possible. There could be small embedded thunderstorms that might just hit the right condition at the right time. But I'm not quite as worried about this time frame, this being 9, 10 a.m. now, when I think we just have heavy rainfall. And then we have that big lull. Keep in mind the big picture again. And then through the afternoon, this is the time frame I'm going to show you in just a minute. It doesn't look like much, but atmospheric instability is having me watch this time frame. I'm going to show you why in just a second for this area, our area south and east a little bit. So if not much drifts through, we don't have much to worry about. But some of these little cells, this is what we're going to watch in the mid to late afternoon hours. Again, like I say, as they come through, these could be some strong little cells. And we'll talk about that in a second. So whether they do or not, here comes the back end of the storm, just as promised. A little bit of uncertainty here. I'm sticking with the North American model because I like it best. But this could happen at 9 o'clock like it's showing. This is transition over to snow. And obviously this is going to press in from the northwest. So this could happen as early as 9. It could happen as early as midnight too. This is dependent on the temperature profile. A little bit of uncertainty there. I'm leaning towards an earlier time. I don't know if it's quite this early. So we'll pop back out and watch this work through the region. I think this is now past midnight, 1 a.m. I still think we have some snow flurries, but we most definitely have high winds pressing in at this time too. So let me show you just a couple of things about that. I have some data to show you why I said what I said just a second ago, and it is this. This is the atmospheric instability. This is one factor that I look at. This is late afternoon. This is picking up between 4 and 5 p.m. And so this is the area, this is the time frame that I'm watching anything that comes through. Some of these numbers are elevated. There's reason for concern. Not many of them are super, super high. But again, I keep coming back to that probable threat of winds. So speaking of winds, I just wanted to show you some wind gust maps. This is the 3 a.m. Overnight tonight, Tuesday, 3 a.m. I think the winds do wake us up as this front moves through. So we have potential for 38-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I think they'll be in the 20s to 30s for sure, waking you up and continuing on through Tuesday morning. But this is when things get interesting. Here's our big dry slot where not too much is going on. And then Tuesday afternoon, this is why we're seeing the wind watch that doesn't cover our area, but it is close to our area out in Kansas and then certainly northwest of us. And here would be why. Look at these 50, 48, 50, 52. Look what these wind gusts get up to just outside of our area, but we will pick up some of it. We have the potential. This is Cass County right now, Tuesday to tomorrow night, 10 p.m., 52-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible, 51. So we will see if we get added to that watch area. I just don't know. We'll see if this data holds. But this concurs with the time period that I see that snow pressing in, right? So they're talking about blizzard-like conditions during these hours up here to our north. So I'll mention that, but I don't think that's as big of a factor for our area. But certainly the wind is. I'm saying wind a lot today. You getting the idea? Rain amounts have crept up. We're up to almost 1.25 inches for our area that may come with this system. It's a little bit more efficient off to our north, but I think most of our area can expect now to pick up 1 inch of rain. Let me put the snow map up here just for the curious. Like I say, I show you where that snow is going to press in. So anything that accumulates, again, depending on those temperatures, I find these pretty optimistic, but we may get, this now says, 1/2 inch in Cass County. That's pretty optimistic, but, certainly a dusting is possible. Whew, pause for emphasis. That's all that. Today's temperatures. Today's a pretty nice day. I see 60, 61, 62. Fort Scott, Nevada going to be the hot spot at 62 today. Here's what's ahead temperature-wise. This whole system is going to cause a big cool down headed toward Wednesday when our high temperature is 40. And Wednesday overnight into Thursday, we will dip down. And possible, these are Butler numbers, our low temp is 23. That is the data. I will continue to watch it for any changes. The policy is if there's watches, I will post about them. If there's warnings, I will jump on here and talk to you about them during severe weather.